Hello YouTube, my name is B-Boy Snatch on TV, aka what kind of snatch you want, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the title, the thumbnail, and the video itself, this is my WWE Smackdown review on highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning towards the end. Give this video 30 likes, follow all my social media down below in the description, and go check out my my AEW Dynamite review on highlights, and go check out my WWE NXT review on highlights, and also go check out my WWE Raw review on highlights out there on the channel. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Smackdown was an average show for what it was. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Smackdown was live from Raleigh, North Carolina, Len OVO Center. Alright, WWE Smackdown kicks off with highlights of last week's contract signing between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Live in the arena, we cut to the camera team. We cut to the commentary team. We cut to Jelly Roll arriving at the arena, but WWE officials are running outside. We see a car crash outside. Drew McIntyre pulls Jacob Fatu from the car windshield and begins hitting him with right hands and slamming him onto the hood of his car. WWE officials grab Drew McIntyre and breaks it up. Back in the arena, out comes Drew McIntyre. He says the only place he should be wrestling is the main event of WrestleMania 42, and that was taken from him. Drew McIntyre gets in the ring and says he is there to fight. Out comes Nick Aldis with security, and he asks Drew McIntyre what is wrong. He says every opportunity was given to Drew McIntyre and still acts like a maniac. He says Drew McIntyre talks about being on the way to WrestleMania 42. The only way he is on his way to is unemployment. Drew McIntyre says he is tired to quit, but they would love that. He says he has a better idea. He says Nick's son Donovan should be ashamed of his corporate stooge of a father. Out comes Jacob Fatu, and Drew McIntyre throws him into the barricade. Drew McIntyre grabs Jacob Fatu, but Jacob Fatu throws him into the ring post and into the ring steps. Jacob Fatu throws Drew McIntyre over the announcer table. He places Drew McIntyre onto the announcer table, but WWE officials break it up. Jacob Fatu walks through the fans and runs back towards the table. Jacob Fatu jumps onto the barricade and onto Drew McIntyre through the table. Now, I'm glad that Jacob Fatu got his get back, and that's all I gotta say. But the feud between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre is heating up, and that's all I gotta say. So we go to commercial break. That was a chaos way to start SmackDown. WWE Tag Team Championship match: Tama Tonga and Jason Mateo versus Damian Priest and R-Truth. This was a fun match, but I'm glad that R-Truth and Damian Priest won the Tag Team Champions. And speaking of Tag Team Champions, where is the Street Profits at? If WWE is not using the Street Profits, have the Street Profits get released so the Street Profits can go straight to AEW. It makes perfect sense. Why is WWE not using the Street Profits? That doesn't make any sense. But the Street Profits are sitting in catering. Alright, anyway. This match was fun for what it was. The bell rings, we are underway. JC Mateo and Damian Priest start the match. Damian Priest with a slam followed by a shoulder tackle. Tonga Loa gets on the ring apron, and that distracts the referee. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, JC Mateo with right hands followed by a standing moonsault. He goes for the cover, but Damian Priest kicks out. JC Mateo runs towards Damian Priest, but Damian Priest with the kick. R-Truth is tagged in, and he lands right hands on JC Mateo. In comes Tama Tonga and Damian Priest, but they fight to the outside of the ring. R-Truth with the STF, but Sokoa distracts the referee. Tama Tonga pulls R-Truth and chokeslams him on the ring apron. The lights go out and out comes and comes back on. Out comes the Riot Six. They fight with MFTs. R-Truth with a sidekick on Jason Mateo. Damian Priest with a close on Tama Tonga. R-Truth with the AA on Jason Mateo. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match and your new WWE Tag Team Champions, R-Truth and Damian Priest. This was a fun match for what it was, but congratulations to R-Truth and Damian Priest. Did you see the look on R-Truth and Damian Priest's face when they both won? Bro, that was just something else, man, but in a good way. But anyway, let me continue. Kathy Kelly is backstage with Brie Bella. Well, I'm sorry. Let me read that over. Kathy Kelly is backstage with the Bella Twins. They talk about how they are going to win the Women's Tag Team Championships. In comes Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss eating ice cream. Charlotte Flair tells them that they are selfish and that they have next. We cut to Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano is laying down. And in comes Danhausen. He asks her for $20, and she gives him the $20, and he leaves. The Motor City Machine Guns pass behind her, and they walk away. Can you just release Johnny Gargano from WWE so Johnny Gargano can go straight to AEW to be with Tommaso Ciampa, please? It is what it is. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Kathy Kelly is with Sami Zayn. He says he should be fully focused on his match tonight against Aleister Black, but he can't stop thinking of Cody Rhodes. He says Cody Rhodes looks up to Randy Orton, but last week's show ended with Randy Orton having the title. And all I gotta say is Randy Orton better get 15 at WrestleMania 42. What was the point about having Randy Orton becoming the number one contender smash at Elimination Chamber to have Randy Orton lose to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 42? But if Randy Orton does not get 15 at WrestleMania 42, everybody's going to crash out and everybody's going to riot. And that's all I got to say. Let me continue. In comes Trick Williams. He says that he sees Sami Zayn hurt, but when life gives you lemons, you get your lemon pepper steppers and you shut and you duck up while the grown and you shut up while grown folks are talking. Sami Zayn challenged him to a match, and Trick Williams says he will check. Trick Williams tells him that maybe he will watch Sami Zayn's match and give him some pointers. Alright. So we get the next match. So we get the tag team match. Faxion versus the Motor City Machine Guns. And this match right here, this tag team match was okay match for what it was. The bell rings, we are underway. Alex Shelley and Nathan Frazier start the match. Nathan Frazier drop with a drop kick. Axiom is tagging and as is Chris Sabin. The Motor City Machine Guns double team Axiom. They hit Nathan Frazier off the ring apron. Axiom with a right hand onto Alex Shelley. Nathan Frazier gets in and he super kicks Chris Sabin. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Nathan Frazier with a splash off the top rope onto Chris Sabin. He goes for the cover, but Alex Shelley breaks it up. Axiom is tagging and they double team Chris Sabin. Axiom goes for the cover, but Chris Sabin kicks out. Axiom placed Chris Sabin on the top rope, but Chris Sabin with the crossbody. Alex Shelley is tagged in, and they double team Nathan Frazier, who gets in the ring. Both teams are in the ring, and the Motor City Machine Guns are thrown to the outside. Faxion with suicide dives onto the Motor City Machine Guns. Nathan Frazier throws Chris Sabin into the ring post. Axiom climbs the top rope, but Alex Shelley pulls Axiom down. Nathan Frazier goes for the cover on Chris Sabin, but Chris Sabin kicks out. Nathan Frazier leans onto the ropes, and out comes Candice LeRae, who hits him with a right hand. Chris Sabin rolls him up and gets the pin. The winner of the match, the Motor City Machine Guns. Now this was a okay match. Matter of fact, this was a decent tag team match. What it was. We cut to the outside and we see Randy Orton. So we go to commercial break. We come back. Now this was a good segment by Randy Orton. Back from commercial, Randy Orton's music hits and out he comes. He pulls a dented chair from the timekeeper's area and grabs a microphone. Randy Orton places the chair in the ring and has a seat on it. Randy Orton says for years when his entrance music hits, everyone will sing along. What a feeling that is. That love they showed him, and he tries to return it. He gives the fans high fives. He signs the action figures, replace titles. He will see a kid on his birthday and wish him a happy birthday. The love that he shows them, he gets back. That puts a smile on his face, and that smile is the emptiest feeling that he has felt in his entire life. Randy Orton says he has been doing this a long time, longer than most, but the reality is that nothing lasts forever. He doesn't want his legacy to be the smiles that he puts on their faces. He wants his legacy to be how many world championship gold he has put around his waist. He says not too long ago he won the Elimination Chamber and he was going to fight Drew McIntyre for the title, and that he knew that he can't be who he need to be Drew McIntyre. But when Cody Rhodes won, he didn't know if he can be who he needs to be Cody Rhodes. He says he loves Cody Rhodes like a brother, but last week Cody Rhodes took that burden off his chest. Cody Rhodes took that weight off his shoulders when he told him that he needed him to be the best version he can be. He needs him to be the Viper, to listen to the voices. The problem with listening to the voices is that he is not always in control. Sometimes things can happen. Sometimes he gets hurt, just like anyone else. But he needs that killer instinct. He needs that to add number 15 to his legacy. He looks at the WrestleMania 42 sign and says that he will do it with 3 most dangerous letters in all of entertainment, RKO. Randy Orton says he hears voices in his head and they counsel him. They understand. They talk to me and they tell me that I am going to beat Cody Rhodes. He says the voices tell him that he will beat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. They tell him he is going to beat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, and he is going to do it at the main event of WrestleMania 42. This was a good promo by This was a good segment by Randy Orton. And like I said before, Randy Orton has to get 15 at WrestleMania 42. What was the point by having Randy Orton to become the number 1 contender at Elimination Chamber to go all the way at WrestleMania 42 to lose to Cody Rhodes? That doesn't make sense. What really makes sense is that you better have Randy Orton get 15 at WrestleMania 42. If Randy Orton does not get 15 at WrestleMania 42, everybody's going to crash out on Twitter and everybody's going to riot, and that's all I gotta say. But Randy Orton has to get 15. This is at 2009. This is at 2009 Randy Orton that I have been waiting for, and I'm happy about this. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Randy Orton is walking backstage and he is stopped in front of Matt Cardona. He asked Randy Orton what was that last week. He says he wants the title. Randy Orton gets angry and he tells him he has the nerve to speak to him like that. He asks Matt Cardona if he has any action figures to go play with. Randy Orton hits him with a right hand, and he tells him to stay out of his business. And that he wouldn't understand. Oh my goodness. But anyway, Matt Cardona should stay out of Randy Orton's business, and that's all I gotta say. But anyway, we get the next match. But let me take a sip of my water. Excuse me. So we get Aleister Black coming by Zelina Vega versus Sami Zayn. This was a decent match, what it was. Before the bell rings, the light goes out, and out comes Trick Williams. The bell rings, we are on the way. Aleister Black with right hands, but Sami Zayn with right hands. Aleister Black with kicks. He goes for a right hand, but Sami Zayn with right hands. Sami Zayn gets Aleister Black in the corner and climbs the second rope. He hits Aleister Black with right hands and kicks. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Aleister Black with kicks and right hands. He throws Sami Zayn to the ropes, and Aleister Black with a back elbow to the face. Aleister Black with a knee to the face, and he goes for the cover, but Sami Zayn kicks out. Aleister Black with a knee bar onto Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn gets out of it. Aleister Black with a spinning kick to the side of the head. Aleister Black climbs the top rope and lands a meteor. He goes for the cover, but Sami Zayn kicks out. Aleister Black gets up, but Sami Zayn clotheslines him to the outside of the ring. Sami Zayn to the outside, and he throws Aleister Black into the barricade. Sami Zayn throws Aleister Black into the ring. Sami Zayn with the exploder into the corner. Sami Zayn goes for the Helluva Kick, but Aleister Black rolls to the outside of the ring. Aleister Black gets down in front of Trick Williams. Sami Zayn moves Trick Williams' foot out of the way. Sami Zayn throws Aleister Black into the ring, and Trick Williams throws a drink onto Sami Zayn's back. Sami Zayn turns around, and Trick Williams sits down. Sami Zayn hits Trick Williams with a right hand. With right hand, Sami Zayn gets back into the ring, and Aleister Black hits him with Black Mass. He goes for the cover and gets a pin. The winner of the match, Aleister Black. This was a decent match between Sami Zayn and Aleister Black. Alright, let's move on. Nick Aldis is backstage with Matt Cardona. He tells Nick Aldis that he wants a match against Randy Orton tonight. But Nick Aldis tells him that won't happen. Matt Cardona walks away, and then comes Carmelo Hayes. Nick Aldis tells him that the United States Championship open challenge tonight is closed. Nick Aldis walks away, and then comes Ilya Dragunov. He tells Carmelo Hayes that he has to take the shot in front of him. Carmelo Hayes tells him that tonight, for one of them, it will be champagne, and for the other, it will be pain. Dragunov tells him that pain will entertain. So we go to commercial break. Jade Cargill music hits, and now she comes to the ring. Jade Cargill says she is not there to play with people's time. She says she knows that Rhea Ripley is back there, and she calls her out. Rhea Ripley music hits, and now she comes. Rhea Ripley asks her if they are going to talk or if they are going to do something. She tells Jade Cargill that she doesn't want to talk to her anymore. Jade Cargill tells her that Rhea Ripley needs the title, but she doesn't need the title or the ring. She tells Rhea Ripley that Rhea Ripley has been grinding so hard to be someone, but she has been that you know what, and still that you know what. Jade Cargill says, as she said, she is not here to make friends. She is here to make more of money. Alright. Rhea Ripley tells her that Jade Cargill is right about one thing. Rhea Ripley does need this. She lives for this. She has been busting her you know what since she was 16 years old. She won't let anyone come in and walk all over her. Jade Cargill tells her another sob story. She doesn't care what she sacrificed or put in. She doesn't care about the women in the locker room. She says wrestling doesn't make her. Rhea Ripley tells her she won't let her disrespect her or anyone in the business. She says it is obvious that Jade Cargill knows nothing about the business. She says since the title has been around Jade Cargill's waist, that title needs her, and she will put it in a way that she is going to understand. Now she wants that title. She is going to take that title. That is why she has given her a big WrestleMania 42 match. Welcome to the big leagues. You know what? She asks her if they are going to continue talking or do something about it. She tells Jade Cargill she will give the first shot to hear her to do something. Jade Cargill tells her no. on her time and walks away. She leaves the ring and out comes Michin and B-Fab. Michin is holding a candlestick. Jade Cargill stands in front of Michin and B-Fab. She tells them to get in the ring. They surrounded the ring and Jade Cargill tells them to get in the ring. Rhea Ripley hits B-Fab, but Michin hits Rhea Ripley with the candlestick. Jade Cargill with a right hand onto Rhea Ripley. Michin and B-Fab hold Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill with a super kick. Jade Cargill with the jaded. You mean to tell me that I was the first one that didn't see this one coming? That B-Fab and Michin turned heel just to work for Jade Cargill by attacking Rhea Ripley? But this is a similar feud with Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. This is similar to AJ Lee and Becky Lynch feud. But I did not see this one coming up. B-Fab and Michin attacking Rhea Ripley. I'm like, why did B-Fab and Michin attack Rhea Ripley for what? But like I said, I miss Bianca Belair. When Bianca Belair comes back, Bianca Belair is going to challenge Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Champion, and I cannot wait to see Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. All right, let me move on. We cut to The Miz and Kit Wilson. Miz is distracted and says it has been a weird week. His family vacation got delayed because of the weather in Hawaii. He was put in the middle seat on the plane, and he has a sunburn on his back, and that is killing him. Danhausen shows up behind them and slams them on their backs. Miz argues with Danhausen and tells them to stay cursed. Miz says he is not cursed. We see a ladder fall behind them and Danhausen leaves. Miz turns around and another ladder falls. Where did two ladders come from by itself? Anyway, that doesn't make any sense. We see Solo Sikoa in the MFT's backstage. Solo asks them if this is how they repay him. They lost the titles, and they might as well kiss WrestleMania 42 goodbye. Jason Mateo blames the Wyatt, but Solo Sikoa blames Jason Mateo and Tama Tonga for it. Tama Tonga tells Solo to give the ladder back to the Wyatt Six. He isn't acting like himself. He tells Solo Sikoa that he is starting to sound like Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa asks him what he just said. In comes Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Slam Drew McIntyre into the garage door. In comes the officials, but Drew McIntyre with a rake to the eyes. The feud between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre has been going at it all night on SmackDown. That's all I gotta say. We go to commercial break. So we get the WWE United States Championship match. Carmelo Hayes versus Eli Dragunov. We've seen this match so many times, but y'all already know the outcome. And this was, I ain't even gonna lie to you, this was a good match. But we've seen this match so many times, even though it was a good match. But Carmelo Hayes retained. Anyway, the bell rings, we are underway. Dragunov with right hands and chops. Dragunov with a chop, but Carmelo Hayes with a kick. Carmelo Hayes goes for his springboard, but Dragunov moves out of the way, and Carmelo Hayes lands on his feet. Dragunov with a consistent special. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Carmelo Hayes with a dirty Donna. He goes for a cover, but Dragunov kicks out. Carmelo Hayes clotheslines Dragunov over the top rope and to the outside of the ring. Carmelo Hayes with a splash over the top rope and onto Dragunov. Carmelo Hayes slams into the announcer table. After landing onto Dragunov, he throws Dragunov back into the ring. Carmelo Hayes climbs the top rope and lands a frog splash. He goes for the cover, but Dragunov kicks out. Carmelo Hayes goes for a springboard, but Dragunov catches him and lands a German suplex. Dragunov climbs the top rope and lands a senton. He goes for the cover, but Carmelo Hayes kicks out. Dragunov climbs the top rope and jumps, but Carmelo Hayes with the first 48. Dragunov falls on top of Carmelo Hayes and goes for the cover, but Carmelo Hayes gets his foot on the bottom rope. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Dragunov with the Death Valley driver onto the ring apron. Dragunov gets Carmelo Hayes on the top rope and he goes for a suplex, but Carmelo Hayes reverses it into a cutter. Carmelo Hayes goes for the cover, but Dragunov kicks out. Carmelo Hayes with chops and Dragunov with right hands. Dragunov with a kick to the face, followed by a powerbomb. He goes for the cover, but Carmelo Hayes kicks out. Dragunov runs towards Carmelo Hayes, but Carmelo Hayes with the first 48. He goes for a cover, but Dragunov kicks out. Carmelo Hayes climbs the top rope and goes for nothing but net, but Dragunov moves out of the way. Carmelo Hayes lands on his feet, and Dragunov with the torpedo mask call. Dragunov goes for the powerbomb, but Carmelo Hayes reverses it into a sunset flip, covers and gets the pin. The winner and still the WWE United States Champion Carmelo Hayes. This was a good match, but we've seen this match so many times. Anyway, we cut backstage and Jelly Roll is stopped by Randy Orton. He apologizes to him for last week and to forgive him. Jelly Roll tells him that he is worried about him. He knows what it's like to be the bad guy. He knows that Randy Orton knows what that is like too. He is not there to judge him. He says Randy Orton lights this place up. He says Randy Orton became a better person. He became a better man. He doesn't understand why Randy Orton is going back to being the bad guy. He says he knows a whole different version of Randy Orton. He knows a great human, someone who changed this business by himself. The husband, the father, the man. He says Randy Orton is a beautiful soul. That is the man that had his back at SummerSlam, but he doesn't know the guy who attacked Cody Rhodes last week. Life is not about what you do; it is about who you do with. And Randy Orton says, like Matt Cardona earlier, he knows he was wrong. He doesn't know what to do. Jelly Roll tells him to go find Matt Cardona and do the right thing. Randy Orton says he hears him and he loves him. They hug. Alright, let's move on. So we go to commercial break. And this segment was a waste of everybody's time with the Kit Wilson and Jelly Roll segment. Back from commercial, Kit Wilson is in the ring and he says Jelly Roll crossed the line last week. He says where he is from, when you cause a problem, they settle it like men. He calls out Jelly Roll out to the ring, and out comes Jelly Roll. He gets in the ring, but Kit Wilson leaves the ring. Jelly Roll tells him that if this is what he wants, this is what he will get. Jelly Roll asks for a referee. Kit Wilson tells him that one more, the ego is 2 steps ahead of the brain. He says they settled this like civilized gentlemen. He doesn't fight with his fists. He fights with his words. Kit Wilson gets back in the ring and Jelly Roll asks him if he brought him here to have a rap battle with him. Jelly Roll tells Kit Wilson that Kit Wilson is not a rapper. Kit Wilson tells him not to compare him to a rapper. He is better than them, and then Jelly Roll. He says no rap battle tonight. They have slam poetry. Kit Wilson begins reading out of a book. Kit Wilson tells Jelly Roll that he can talk all he wants, but he has no class. Just a couple of faces tattooed and a criminal past. He continues to insult Jelly Roll. Kit Wilson calls Jelly Roll a jerk and says at least they have proof that Ozempic works. Jelly Roll says that was pretty good. He says he didn't bring a book, but he might have something for him. He begins to freestyle and insult Kit Wilson's mother. Kit Wilson hits Jelly Roll from behind with a microphone. Kit Wilson climbs the top rope and he lands a springboard spinning elbow. This segment was a waste of everybody's time between Jelly Roll and Kit Wilson. We cut backstage. I'm sorry. We cut to Julia and Kiana James, who are backstage. Kiana James tells her that she is aware of the outcome of that match. Julia tells her that she didn't get the job done. Kiana James apologizes and calls Chelsea Green, and I will fire. Chelsea Green tells her the enemy of her enemy is her friend. She mentions Tiffany Stratton, and Julia tells her that she doesn't need any help from her. Julia and Kiana James walks away. In comes Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Nia Jax pushes Chelsea Green wheelchair and they walk away. So we go to commercial break. Alright, so we get the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Nia Jax and Lash Legend versus the Bella Twins. And this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie to you. This match itself, this was a solid match for what it was, and that's all I gotta say. Yeah, and that's all I gotta say. So it says right here, hold on. It says right here. It says right here. Hold on, give me a second. It says the bell rings, we are underway. The Bella Twins with a double drop kick. Nikki Bella and Nia Jax in the ring. Nikki Bella with a headlock, but Nia Jax throws her to the ropes and lands a shoulder tackle. Nia Jax goes for an elbow, but Nikki Bella moves out of the way. Brie Bella is tagging and they double team Nia Jax. Brie Bella with an armbar, and Nikki Bella is tagged back in. Nikki Bella climbs the top rope and lands a double axe handle. They hit Lash Legend with their right hand off the ring apron. Charlotte Flair music hits and out she comes with Alexa Bliss. That distracts the Bella Twins and Lash Legend hits them with a right hand. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Brie Bella with a drop kick off the top rope onto Nia Jax. Brie Bella with a running knee to the face. Brie Bella with the yes kick. In comes Lash Legend, but Brie Bella with a drop kick. Nia Jax with a pop-up headbutt onto Brie Bella. She runs towards Brie Bella, but Brie Bella moves out of the way and Nia Jax falls to the outside of the ring. Nikki Bella with a crossbody off the top rope onto Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Nikki Bella throws Nia Jax back into the ring. She climbs the top rope, but Nia Jax with a right hand. Nia Jax gets Nikki Bella on her shoulders, and Lash Legend is tagged in. Nia Jax climbs the second rope and lands a Samoan drop. Lash Legend climbs the second rope, and she lands a frog splash. She goes for the cover, but Brie Bella breaks it up. Brie Bella with a Bronco Buster. Brie Bella to the outside, but Nia Jax slammed her into the ring apron. Nikki Bella with the fearless lock. Nia Jax grabs one of the titles and she goes to hit Brie Bella with it, but Charlotte Flair hits Nia Jax and the referee calls for the bell. The winner of the match is still your WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Alright, let's move on. Nikki Bella gets in Charlotte Flair's face, but Alexa Bliss gets in her face. Both teams begin to fight in the ring. In comes Nia Jax and Lash Legend into the ring. Lash Legend with a headbutt onto Charlotte Flair, followed by a bear hug. Nia Jax with a leg drop onto Charlotte Flair from the second rope. We cut to the back and Randy Orton is talking on the phone. He says the person is right. He will go to the ring right now and fix it. Randy Orton hangs up the phone. Can you imagine Randy Orton, Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page forms the new legacy with Randy Orton, Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page? Bro, on SmackDown, how crazy that stable, that trio will be with Randy Orton, Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page. That would be crazy. That would be a crazy trio right there. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Randy Orton music hits, and now he comes with the steel chair. Randy Orton says he has an apology that needs to make to everyone, but more Importantly, he has an apology to give to Matt Cardona. He asked Matt Cardona to come out. He wants to do it in front of everyone. Matt Cardona music hits. Now he comes. Randy Orton says that he is legitimately sorry. They go way back, and he has known him for 20 years. Randy Orton says he is sorry, and he has an apology to make to Cody Rhodes next week. He asks Matt Cardona if he will forgive him. They shake hands and hug, but Randy Orton low blows Matt Cardona and hits him with an RKO. Randy Orton throws Matt Cardona to the outside of the ring. He places Matt Cardona on the announcer table and he hits him with right hands. Randy Orton grabs the ring steps, but out comes WWE officials. Randy Orton stops, but he grabs Matt Cardona and throws him back into the ring. Randy Orton with right hands. He places Matt Cardona's arm between the chair, but WWE officials gets in the ring and breaks it up. Randy Orton stops, but he steps on the chair. WWE officials breaks it up, and Randy Orton leaves the ring. You can never trust a snake, and that's all I gotta say. But like I said, and I'm gonna say this one more time, Randy Orton has to get 15 at WrestleMania 42. What was the point about Randy Orton becoming the number one contender and elimination champion to have Randy Orton go all the way to WrestleMania 42 to lose to Cody Rhodes? That doesn't make any sense. Well, what does make sense is that have Randy Orton beat Cody Rhodes to get 15 at WrestleMania 42 is only makes sense, and that's all I gotta say. This is that Viper Randy Orton that I know since 2009 and 2020, and that's all I gotta say. Alright. We see Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre fighting outside, and Nick Aldis runs to the back. Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu are fighting on the ledge outside of the arena. They fight on the railing of the ledge, and both men fall back off the ledge. Nick Aldis asks for the medic, and SmackDown goes off the air. Alright, let me get my honest opinion what I think about WWE Smackdown. Now, WWE Smackdown was an average show for what it was. If you guys enjoyed my WWE Smackdown review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning or towards the end. Give this video 30 likes, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your friends and family. Follow my socials down below in the description. Like I said, go check out my AEW Dynamite review on highs, and go check out my WWE NXT review on highs, and also go check out my WWE Raw review on highs. But thank you guys so much for coming out to my 4-hour stream live on Twitch for some WWE 2K26. Shout out to Eternal Alyssa for the first time chatter, and shout out to Hatchet Soda for the first time chatter. I had a good time on live stream yesterday while I was playing WWE 2K26. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow live on Twitch for some Fortnite. And I already know which team I'm going for. I'm going with Team Ice. I'm going with Team King Ice, and that's all I gotta say. But I do love the Foundation, but I gotta go with Team Ice King, and that's all I gotta say. But I'll see you guys tomorrow live on Twitch for some Fortnite, and I'll see you guys Sunday on Twitch for some WWE 2K26. But anyway, I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and all stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I will see you guys on my world premiere for my WWE Smackdown review and highlights at around 5 o'clock a.m. right here on the YouTube channel. So be there or be square. Whoever's the first one to show up will get a shout out. And that's all I gotta say from here. But anyway, enough of me yapping. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.